This is episode number 497 of the Health and Fitness podcast by InnerFight, brought to you in association with Smith Street Paleo. Be sure to hop over to smithstreetpaleo.com and get your serve of good paleo food. So guys, if you're looking still for a big goal for 2019, then I might have something for you here. We've teamed up with Ultra X to give you a special rate on the races that these guys are organizing this year. They organize 250k 5-day races. It's a race series which are held in exotic and inspiring locations around the world, and they actually culminate with a biannual World Championships. It's super awesome, and I can vouch for this, that taking on a multi-day ultra in a far-flung corner of the earth is probably one of the greatest experiences that you can have. And now that Ultra X are making these experiences more accessible for all, it's definitely something that you should be considering for 2019. In this year, they have races in Sri Lanka, Jordan, Mexico, and they'll be adding 2 races to the series each year, with Bolivia and the Azores getting released in the summer of 2019. So if that really does sound like something that you are interested in, we have a discount code which will get you £200 off the races. You can hop over, have a look, ultra-x.co. The Sri Lanka race is the first race, which is on the 13th of April. You get £200 off using our code INNERFSL19. Go and check it out. Get involved. I'm looking forward to racing some of their races this year, and hopefully we'll see some of you guys there. Welcome back to another edition of the show, folks, and your weekly update, your weekly bulletin on everything that's gone on in the world of InnerFight and also in the world of fitness. There's quite a few things that I want to catch up on this week, but definitely this weekend has been one of the biggest sporting weekends for us as a brand across different sports. Andre is down in South Africa, just finishing up there as I record this podcast. Half Ironman in Dubai yesterday. People were running in Dibba in the Wadi B. We had people in the Backyard Ultra. There is absolutely loads to get through. It's been an absolutely massive weekend of sport for us. So I'm going to go into all of that, but just want to say hopefully everyone enjoyed the program from last week. It definitely looked like you did on Thursday. That Thursday therapy really set people up nicely for the weekend. So a big kudos, as always, to Matt Jones for what he does and how he puts the weekly program together. Of course, if you do follow the program online, or if you follow our class program by just coming to the gym, please do let us know your feedback, the good, the bad, the ugly. We want to know. We go through it as coaches every single Monday, and we try to put together a program that not only meets your needs, but also ensures that you have a lot of fun whilst doing it at the same time. Fun, safety are number 1 and number 2 priority in no particular order. And if we make sure we're giving you those, then you definitely have a good week. As I was saying, a lot has gone on this weekend. Let's start with an update from Tom, just to tell you the 70.3 half Ironman, the half Ironman distance was in Dubai at the weekend, and it is phenomenal, the number of people we've had racing. Big shout out to Flanners and Tom for what they're doing. Here is this week's update from InnerFight Endurance from Tom.
So yeah, we had 40 people racing, and what was really good is 40 people finished. It was a tough day. The swim was slower than last year. It was quite a big headwind heading out to Al Qudra on the bike for 45k. Then we turned around and headed back in and had that wind as a tailwind, so some really fast bike times. And then the run got hot pretty quick, and that's where most people suffered, but all our guys got through it. 2 notable call-outs is Sol, who won her age group 35 to 39. She won it by like 5 minutes, which is incredible. She was 3rd in Bahrain, so it's gone even faster again. And then Andrew Winter got his slot for the World Championships in Nice, which is a much-deserved slot. He was very close in Bahrain, but it didn't happen, and he's pulled it off a couple months later in Dubai. So that's it.
Wow, over 40 people racing. I managed to actually snuffle a little bit of that race up at Al Qudra. I was out on the bike course, and as Tom said, it was phenomenal. The wind on the way up, the headwind on the way up, tailwind on the way down. But definitely when you get out of the water and you ride straight into a headwind for 45k, it's an out and back course. Absolutely brutal. A lot of people got round that by drafting, which is quite interesting. If you're into the sport of triathlon, there's draft legal and non-draft legal races. I think that's the way they put it. Some of them you're allowed to sit on people's wheels and get the benefit of being sat in their draft, and the one on the weekend was one where you're not allowed to, but despite that, lots of people choosing to maybe bend the rules a little bit there. Quite an interesting topic, and one that I think we're never ever going to see the end of. But well done to all of those guys, especially the guys that qualified for the World Half Ironman Championships in Nice in September. That's going to be a great event to look forward to, and for those guys to work to over the weekend. Keeping things long, it was the Wadi B Ultramarathon on the weekend. We had 5 girls in a team down there, and they were doing the 72k, so you do that in a relay. And they actually did the one in Hatta just before Christmas, and they did another one down there. So hats off to those ladies getting out there, making it happen in the relay down in Wadi B. And for those of you that follow me over on my Instagram, you'll have seen that I spent most of my weekend out at the Big Backyard Ultra, which was just out at Al Qudra. It started just behind the Al Qudra shops there and was a 6.7 kilometer loop that the competitors repeated on an hourly basis. So if you run the loop in 45 minutes, you get 15 minutes rest. For those of you that missed the show on Thursday, show number 496, that was actually with the guy who has the current record for the Big Backyard Ultra, Johan Stein, who ran for 68 hours. He ran with Courtney DeWalter for 67 hours. She then pulled out, and he did the last hour. So it's a case of last man standing. We had 6 people in this race. Big shout out to Jack LaRue, who has just recently become a father of twins. Congratulations also to his wife Mignon for bringing them into the world, although I'm sure it's a team effort, they'll tell you. Jack was out there. He went out and ran for about 6 or 7 hours, which, considering he's probably not sleeping that much at the moment, is something absolutely phenomenal from him. The guys that are preparing for Marathon des Sables, Rickson, Carl, Vikram, and Akbar were also out there, and a monumental effort from Akbar. He ran over 80 kilometers, 12 hours worth of running. To cap it off, Robert Jones, our ultra machine. If you didn't hear his show with Tom Otten that we did just before Christmas, show number 484, Oman by UTMB, then you definitely need to go and get a little look into Rob's world. He's actually also recently become a father to a little Hannah, so him and Heidi are taking care of her. Probably a lot of sleeplessness, so he was well trained for this event, and Rob actually ran for 24 hours. I think they were down to the final 2 guys, Rob and an Irish guy, for about the last 5 hours. So from just after midnight, with that race starting at 6:30 in the morning on Friday morning. And Rob had 100 miles in his legs. So a super good effort. And he was cooked after that. His time was just getting progressively slower and slower. And he said in the end, he was actually doing 50 steps running, 50 steps walking. And then the Irish gentleman, Mark, went out and did one more final lap, giving him the trophy, the winner of the Big Backyard. Moving away from ultras, moving away from endurance and back into the world of CrossFit. If you've been following which we all have, Andre, my co-host on the show, has been down in Cape Town this weekend and has done an incredible job. At the time that I'm recording this show, which is a little bit cheeky, Saturday afternoon, to get it out of the way, so it's out for you guys on Sunday morning. Andre is sat in 4th place with, I think, 1 or 2 workouts to go, which is absolutely phenomenal what Andre's done this weekend. He was actually in 1st place for a lot of it, but there's some really, really big names down there in Cape Town. Remember, this is one of the sanctioned events, one of the sanctionals. Whoever wins this event goes to the CrossFit Games, or gets a ticket to go to the CrossFit Games and compete for the title of Fittest on Earth. Talking of which, this field was loaded with previous CrossFit Games athletes, all the way down to almost down to sort of some of the bottom places. Khan Porter, who, as I record, is currently in 19th place, has been a CrossFit Games athlete. And then as we move further up the leaderboard, pretty much household names in CrossFit, like the Canadian Lucas Parker, the Australian James Newbury, the American Cole Sager. These guys are all there. Even the South African Jason Smith, who we've seen very strong in our region over the last few years. Andre has gone head-to-head with these guys and is in 4th place at the moment. You guys will get an update on that if you just hop over to fittestincapetown.com. But absolutely incredible effort from him. He got 2 event wins in workout 1 and workout 6, and until the last 2 workouts did not place outside the top 10. So definitely all the work that you see Andre doing in the gym is definitely working out for him. So we just hope that hopefully when this podcast comes out, he is actually sat in 1st place. If not, I'm sure that's going to give him a massive amount of motivation to just keep doing what he's doing and striving towards his goal of getting to the CrossFit Games. We're going to have a little bit more of a talk in the coming weeks about sanctionals. We've been talking about it a lot, but still getting a lot of questions on it. So stay tuned to that show. And this coming week's show is going to be all about the Open. We're going to do a big focus topic on that, what it is, and really explain it. But these sanctional events that are going on around the world are a real opportunity, but you need to win them to get your ticket to the CrossFit Games. So maybe Andre's done that by the time you're listening to this show, maybe not. No matter, he's done a brilliant job down there, and I'm sure he will come back incredibly thirsty, hungry, and ready to go, and maybe eyeing up his next sanctional. But Cape Town, not a bad place to do it at all. Talking about other things, CrossFit Mind Muscle Project. I was actually on their podcast this week. If you want to go and check that out, check out all the other shows that these guys do. They're probably one of the top CrossFit podcasts in the world right now. They're based out of Australia, and they talk to all the good guys, all the big guys in CrossFit. They spoke to a small guy like me about my marathons, but they speak to a lot of CrossFit people. So if you're looking for a podcast, that is one that I definitely suggest you get over to. Another podcast that I want to recommend you listen to, if you're a little bit more into the endurance side, is definitely Rich Roll's recent interview with Kilian Jornet. Kilian's an incredible athlete. I had the privilege of meeting him at the Volvic Volcanic Experience in May of last year. He is also a brand ambassador for Volvic, and we actually are having a good chat. And there's one picture of me just looking down on him because he's quite a lot smaller than me, and I had no clue who he was. But if you go and check out the Rich Roll podcast, last week, Kilian Jornet was on there and really puts a lot of things in perspective about his training. Very inspirational guy and speaks perfect English as well. So it's a really easy listen. And Rich Roll is the typical Rich Roll. Asks a few good questions, asks a few bad ones, but generally has good guests. So we get something good out of him. So there are 2 podcasts I want to recommend. A book that I want to share with you that I've actually just started reading this week, Matthew Jones gave it to me, is Mike Tyson's autobiography. I wish there were more hours in the day so I could get through that a lot faster, but an incredible start so far. If you guys have any books, any podcasts that you're listening to, watching, reading, or whatever, please do share them with us and we'll push those. If there's a podcast that you like, please let us know. We'll push it and share it with all the other listeners. And as always, as we say, if there's a guest on another show that you like, please let us know and we will reach out and interview them. We're still looking for someone for our 500th edition of the podcast. We've had Goggins. We've had Richard Branson. I had a couple of others as well, and we've actually reached out to these guys, but we're not getting much reply. So if anyone has any connections to any of these people that you want us to interview for the 500th show, please connect us somehow. Sure, someone out there's got Richard Branson's mobile number and they just on WhatsApp with him when he's just chilling on Necker Island. Maybe not. But we are still looking for something to put together for our 500th show, and it's coming very soon. This week's show, 498, and then next week's show will be 500 once we've got next week's weekly update. Talking about next week, talking about the coming week, we are into testing week, and this is something that we really really encourage people to get into. No matter what sport you're in, no matter where you are in the world, if you follow the InnerFight program, that's absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. If you come to our classes, thank you so much. But we have our testing week once every sort of 2 to 3 months, 3 and a bit months. And what it really does is it enables people to understand the good progress that they're making, or maybe not the good progress that they're making, maybe that they've gone backwards in certain things. And it enables you, especially as we start February, enables you to reset a little bit and maybe set some goals and realize what's important to you. Obviously, if some of your lifts, if some of your gymnastic skills or conditioning times have not improved, you have to look for the answers as to why. Some of them might have improved, and you should also be looking to the answers as to why. So testing week this week, there will be no strongman class on Tuesday for those of you that normally come to that, so that everyone has a fair shot at the testing. But the other specialty classes, gymnastics and weightlifting, will still be taking place. As I said a little bit earlier there, the Open is coming. This Thursday's show, we'll be talking a lot about the Open. What you need to do now is hop over to games.crossfit.com. You need to register for the Open. We'll be running the Open every Saturday down at the gym from 10 o'clock. It's up to everyone, open to everyone, to come in and just get involved. It's a great atmosphere. We'll have judges. We'll have all the people down there supporting you, and it's a time to, again, prove your fitness, not to me, not to anyone else, but definitely to yourself in the 2019 Open. 5 workouts over 5 weekends. We'll answer all of the questions. We had a lot of different questions on this so far. We're going to go through a Q&A on it and a little bit more information on it in this week's Thursday show, 498. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But all you need to do right now is go and register for the 2019 Open and get ready to, as CrossFit say, have your fitness tested. That is it, ladies and gentlemen, for this week's weekly update show. Hope you've enjoyed it. As always, if you do have any comments, questions, we'll keep away from the complaints. But if you do have any complaints, let us know. winning@innerfight.com. It's always great to hear from you. From us to you, have a fantastic week. Show no weakness.